Moving on to the final classic SpongeBob episode I will be reviewing this week, we have none other than the famous and the fabulous As Seen on TV. Now, I'm sure we all have a lot of fond memories of this episode. We've all probably been able to reference it at least once a week or a month in our day-to-day lives. And the way I review and grade and rank the episodes, in case you're new here, is I have this 7-category system. Each category is worth 10 points, and it can own extra credit too, or it can also get negative credit, depending on my observations. Now, the categories are: how long the episode took to make me laugh. 2, how many times did the episode make me laugh. 3, memorability, as in how many quotes, moments, and jokes can I remember without watching the episode first. Number 4, is there a good message that is executed well? Number 5, is there character development or moments that make a character multi-dimensional? Number 6, does the episode stay consistently entertaining throughout? Slow starts or bad payoffs will hurt the point count. 7, doesn't misuse characters and just have them in there to take punishment or make people laugh due to this character's misery. And in terms of classic SpongeBob, characters like Plankton and Squidward are prime examples of what I mean by number 7 being a category. Now then, without further ado, let's get into the notes I took for the episode, so that we can begin telling the points. So, if you've seen my other videos, you'll see that I always start off with memorability. And for As Seen on TV, the first memory I thought up of, and these are in no particular order, it's not based on quality or how funny I thought the joke was, it's just based on what came to my mind first. So, the first moment I remembered was, SpongeBob watching the commercial. He looked and pointed at the screen. He's like, "Look, Gary, there I am again!" And then, number 2 is when Mr. Krabs is pushing everyone away from the Krusty Krab. He doesn't want the high-budget production crew there, so he's like, "Alright, Scram, get out of here, you muchos." And then he points at the clown. He's like, "Except you stay." And then the clown is like, "Eat it." So that's my number 2 memorable moment. Number 3 is when Mr. Krabs is looking for SpongeBob, and SpongeBob's nose sticks out of the ground. He's like, "I'm down here, so what are you doing down there?" Squidward said I could help by burying myself. Number 4 is when the old man, he was watching the commercial, and he goes up to SpongeBob. He's like, "I saw you on TV last night." And then we have his flashback where he's watching TV, and the commercial is all new bran flakes, bold new taste, bran flakes. Number 5 is when SpongeBob is heading to the Krusty Krab, and he runs into that guy at the door, and that guy opens the door and holds it for him, and SpongeBob is like, "Why, so I'm flattered." And then the fish guy is like, "Really? I don't smell anything." "Ah, you're on your way, kid." Number 6 is SpongeBob's song near the end, where he's like, "I'd like to call this little number Striped Sweater. The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time." So yeah, that's my number 6 memorable moment. Number 7 is SpongeBob juggling and saying jokes at the same time. Number 8 is when SpongeBob is watching the commercial, and once it ends, he's like, "That was the best 60 seconds of my life." Okay, time for bed. Number 9 is, of course, the low-budget commercial. It's like the cornerstone of this episode, when you have Squidward having to wear a female wig because Mr. Krabs is saving money off of it, and he has to act like a girl, and then Pearl is also helping, and Mr. Krabs is like, "That's right, Amy. I heard all about your little problem, and I'm here to help. Follow me." me, just that whole commercial is just so memorable. Number 10 is when SpongeBob slips at the end, and he's like, "No! My career is over." Number 11 is the ending joke when Mr. Krabs is like, "Well, SpongeBob, it looks like you finally found your calling." And SpongeBob says, "I'll say, I'm so glad I gave up fry cooking for this," as he's fry cooking. And finally, number 12, excuse me. Number 12 is when SpongeBob is sweeping the floors and he starts playing with the broom, and Mr. Krabs approaches him and he's like, "There you are, SpongeBob. Yes, pilot. I need you to..." And then he breaks Mr. Krabs' finger. So, that was all the things I could remember off the top of my head. And that was 12 points in total. So, number 3, memorability, gets a 12 out of 10. Now, moving on to number 1, and I do time the episodes, is how long the episode took me to laugh. And for As Seen on TV, it took me 1 minute and 23 seconds to do so. I can't remember what the joke is. I will write the joke down, or the moment that got me to laugh first from now on. And so, for anyone that's new here, the way I do number 1 is every 30 seconds I will deduct a point. So it's a minute and 23 seconds in before the first joke that makes me laugh. It hasn't hit that minute 30 seconds yet, so I will only take 2 points away, and I'm giving number 1 an 8 out of 10. Number 2 was how many times did it make me laugh, and in my notes I have down that it made me laugh 10 times. So it's a perfect score, 10 out of 10. And I'll show you the points telling at the end. Now, we already did memorability. Number 4 is there a good message that is executed well? And in terms of As Seen on TV, I wouldn't say there is. I mean, sure, you could probably say, don't let stardom or fame go to your head. But it's not really executed well, because all it is SpongeBob letting stardom and fame go to his head, and nothing in his life changes. He doesn't really receive any punishments or rewards for it. It's just tomfoolery up until SpongeBob goes back to fry cooking. It's not like Mr. Krabs put him into his office and was telling him, "Look, you got to cut this stuff out, otherwise I'm gonna have to fire you." Like, there was no moments that try to really teach you that lesson. They give you a message, or it seems like they're trying to give us a message, but then they just play it off for laughs. So, in terms of number 4, I will say no, maybe a good message, but not executed well, and that is why number 4, I'm sorry, gets a 0 from me. 0 out of 10. Number 5, is there character development or something that makes a character multi-dimensional? And I wouldn't really say so. Like, SpongeBob didn't really have any character development. It doesn't really come back into the rest of the series. And every character, pretty much, at least all the main characters, acted like they would normally. So, number 5, I'm sad to say, also gets a 0 out of 10. Number 6, does the episode stay consistently entertaining? And, well, here's the thing. Even though, yes, it did make me laugh 10 times, that was all in the middle of the episode. Like, the majority of it was in the middle of the episode, but like one joke at the beginning that got me to laugh, and then like some minor jokes near the end, like, it just felt like, in comparison to the rest of the episode, that it just didn't really fit all that well. It was just a slow episode in terms of jokes and in terms of what they were trying to get across to the audience. So I'm sorry to say, but for it being consistently entertaining, I'm gonna have to give it 2. I know that this is probably really getting to you guys now, you classic SpongeBob fans. And number 7, finally, we have number 7. Notes fell. We have, does it misuse a character and just has them in there to take punishment or make people laugh due to this character's misery? And not really. Like, no one was really miserable, unless you count Scribble, but that wasn't really the focus of the episode. But no one really suffered because of the events that unfolded. So I'm gonna give number 7 10 out of 10. And so, if you tally everything up, you have 8 out of 10 for category number 1, plus 10 for category 2 is 18, plus 12 is 30, plus 0 plus 0, we're still at 30, plus 2 is 32, plus 10 at the end is 42. And as a result, if you do the calculations, as seen on TV, I am sorry to say, got a 60%, a solid 60%, and that is a D- overall. So if you've seen my other videos today, then you will have seen that the likes of Texas and Life of Crime, one got a solid B and the other got an A-, and that means that in the current standings, Texas is number 1 in terms of my opinionated personal ranking, followed by Life of Crime, and then, unfortunately, As Seen on TV. And I'm not saying As Seen on TV is a bad episode. Like, I love this episode. I love just about every classic SpongeBob episode. It has a lot of moments that as I said earlier, I found memorable, that I reference from time to time. And no matter what, if I see this episode on TV randomly, it's always going to bring a smile to my face, even if it is lackluster compared to what I want from a SpongeBob episode and compared to the rest of the series. Anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed the 3 episodes I reviewed this week, and I will be back next week to grade and rank other classic SpongeBob episodes. And if you would like, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below, especially comments about what classic SpongeBob episodes you would like me to grade and rank in the future, especially next week.